I want to play Skyrim, but with guns. I want to play a racing game, but with soccer, so I can make something like Rocket League. The Endless Mission is a game that's going to allow you to do that. Then there's increasingly powerful tools that will allow you to go even further into customization, or you can even make your own game genres from scratch.
So does this come with like small games in it already?
Yes. So right now, what we're going to be playing in this demo is a version of a kart racer, a platformer, and a real-time strategy game. Throughout the life of the game, we're going to continually be releasing new genres that will contain content that people can play, and then each time we release a new genre, that has tools and capabilities that come with it to allow you to take pieces of that for your own creations.
This is incredible. I have 8-year-old nephews that are getting into coding, and they love video games, and I think that this would be amazing for them because you can literally manipulate anything in the game, right? Like
That's
you can change gravity, you can move characters around, and I think for them to be, to start with something like this and then be able to make it their own, I think that'd be really neat.
So, how? There's so many things that you can do. It's hard to ask questions about it. Like,
there's so much to this.
Say I want to create a platformer. Do you give them a baseline, or do you start with just like a blank screen, or like how does it go?
So specifically, we try to avoid ever putting you in a blank canvas kind of slate. Because that's intimidating for a lot of people coming into game creation games. I don't see myself as a game creator. I don't see myself as a coder. If you just give them a blank tool set, they don't know where to begin.
Right.
So we want to provide you worlds, environments, characters to use as a jumping off point for creating your own content. So if you wanted to make a platformer, we have this platformer world and characters that you can start with, but then in our level editor, I can go and place new challenges within that world. I can borrow components from the other game genres, or even bring in my own content from the game. If I'm a 3D modeler, I can put my own 3D models into the Endless Mission as well for my own creations.
Well, you can put your own stuff in there?
Yes.
Dude, what? That is really amazing.
So then what about user-generated content? How does that work into this?
So this is a very community-centric game. In addition to me bringing in my own content into the game, I'm creating experiences that I share with the community. So we're going to have a content portal. Actually, Eric's here is into the terminal. When he looks to the left there, that's what we call our Hall of Celebrations. So everything that players are uploading can be downloaded by the community, remix and rematch as well. So when I download somebody else's game, I'm also getting the tools, the characters, the assets that they use to create the game. So I can borrow those and now remix that and upload it to the content portal again. In that Hall of Celebration, we're going to be on a rotating sort of weekly basis, highlight the best of what the community has created. So there's always new stuff to play every time you come back to the terminal.
This is incredible, and I have to admit, it took me a while to just really wrap my head around this game. There's just so much to it, and there's so much to do. So finally sitting down with you and having you explain it to me, like, this is gold, because now I get it, and this is exciting, and I see so much potential here for people to get in there and really manipulate these things and remix, like you said, and make it their own.
Now, how would someone, like, submit, like, content for this?
Sure. So we're going to have a content portal that's built in the game. So when, say, I've done what Eric has done, and I've created this mashup game. So he's going to be playing a kart racer using the avatar from a platformer. We'll also show you the modding tools a bit, where we can change parameters of how that game behaves. So that's the first level of customization. I'm starting to make that game my own. Once I'm satisfied with the game that I've created using any level of the tools, I can then export that, package it up on our content portal. It's just a button that I press, and I say, okay, now I'm uploading this to the community's game and play it, or remix it if I like.
Okay. Is there like a way you can see like the most difficult, the most popular, the like that kind of stuff? Like
sure. So on the content portal, we'll have a lot of sorting algorithms. You'll be able to see both how people have rated the game, how many people have downloaded the game. We're also very interested in allowing users to define metrics for their own game. So if I want to add a leaderboard to my game, I have the ability to add that, so you can track scores independent to the game that you created.
So what's going on right now is this was the racing game?
That's right.
You put the fox in it?
Yeah.
And now he's cheating.
So
he's trying to get to the end. That's what cheaters get. You don't
Yeah.
cheat.
So that's one of the interesting, almost puzzle-like experiences coming in as a player. When I'm taking a character from a completely different game genre, like a platformer, how does he win a kart race?
By
So
cheating.
in this case, yeah, you're able to platform, you're able to take shortcuts you wouldn't be able to do as a kart. Now, if you really want to see some cheating, we can go into the modding tools.
I mean, this
So
is
at-
really neat already. This is.
And so this is a key differentiator for this game, because at any point in time while I'm playing any game, I can pause it, and now I have access to change parameters of how that game behaves. So I can do things like change my jump height, or I can manipulate the scale of my characters. Some of that is for sort of reshaping the game into my own. Some of it, we've had a lot of people like at PAX who have felt like this kind of feels like playing with cheat codes, or I'm designing my own cheat codes for the game. And especially for younger players, that's really attractive for them.
Now,
So now you can see we've become Paper Mario.
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was a discovery that we made. Of course, as we've shown this game, a lot of people, when they get into the modding tools, are doing things that we as the developers never expected.
Of course.
So that we happened to put the scale that you could change it across one axis, not universally. Somebody's like, okay, I'm just gonna make a really flat character. I'm like, oh, that's somewhat unique. And then they wanted to go and make a puzzle game just on that experience. Like, oh, now I can fit into places I wasn't able to fit in before.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, all of the changes in modding you make just to the main character, like, and it affects collision and all that kind of stuff. Can a person, okay, let me just dream big here. You could make an entire full-length game within this game.
Yes.
Within this thing.
So this is all built on a game engine, and at the lowest level of the tool sets, the scripting and the level editor, you are getting access to the full game code. So you can absolutely create your own full game experience with this. In fact, we have a long-term ambition that you'd be able to export stuff that you made in this game into a game engine like Unity 3D,
Yeah.
and then the assets would follow you. You could continue riffing off there, and then if you want to go and sell that game on Steam, that's great, because we have this objective. We want to inspire people to get into game development, to be willing to overcome that hurdle, and we see this as a great vehicle for doing so.
Well, that's really cool that you say that, because I'm curious. I know a ton of people like have made very successful games and possibly careers from things like RPG Maker, or even on a more